I'm going to kick off just because I wanted to start just talking right away about the book.
Yeah,
We were going through it this morning, and I wanted to ask you because I wrote a book too, and I know there's a lot that goes into it. What inspired the book?
just I was ready to explore a part of my life again, and wanted to share that with American and Americans, my fans all over the world, and I just thought it was an important subject. Just coming to this country, seeing it from a view of a foreigner, becoming an American citizen,
Mm,
being in Hollywood, achieving the American dream. A lot of losses, a lot of gains, a lot of a lot of bad times, but a lot of great times in return. And yeah, so I thought it was compelling, and the story of my family from World War II and being invaded by the Russians after that, and the Communist Party and Socialist Party, and what I've seen since I was a little boy. I thought that all that stuff would be good to share with everyone.
And
yeah.
the book is called Sabato, the Untold Story.
Right.
Why did you decide to release that book now?
I don't know. Just time. Timing is everything, right? So I've been through hell and back, and I wanted to share that. Like I said, in the last few years, especially with the political journey that I've had, the things that I've seen, it opens you up. So I've seen death with my own eyes. I survived that. I'm very happy that I'm still alive with my children and doing everything I got to do. I'm very blessed. I thank God every day, and so I thought, right now we need compelling, positive stories, and so we need stories that could uplift people because there's so much darkness out there, and so we want to give them a little bit of hope, and I think I can do that, and that's what these stories are about, and they're fun and they're great, and they're uplifting, because when you go through the storm and you come out on the other side, people want to see that, they want to believe that maybe, if Antonio did it, I didn't know all the stuff that happened to him,
Mm,
then I could do it, because there's also a different perspective too, because I have a great appreciation for this country because I came from another place. We
mm,
don't have all that freedom. We don't have all those glorious things that we have in this country and other places in the world. We don't have those things. We
yeah.
don't have opportunities to create your own future in other places around the world. You really don't. Um, and you don't have the Constitution anywhere else in the world. You don't have the freedom of speech anywhere else in the world. Only here. That's it. So I take those things with pride, and I think people need to see it from a different perspective. Because if you're born here and you see it a certain way, you're like, you get spoiled. You see it, and this is how it is. And
Yeah.
we're very blessed. We should be humble, being Americans. We should.
What do you think it is that, so many today feel like, they have an interest? There's many that have an interest in socialism and exploring what that's all about. What do you think's driving that?
Ignorance is like you don't know too much about something, but you're backing up a party because you don't want to get out of that popular mode. If you're hanging out with the celebrities, if you're hanging out with the media, and the media is telling you that socialism is good, and people in Hollywood are telling you, people that you look up to with millions of followers and they have all the power. I don't have all the power. I'm just an American citizen who is still acting. He still wants to produce on, but I'm not at that level. I mean, like people that have millions of Beyonces and all these people have a good reach. I mean, they have a huge reach. So people follow that and they go, wow, the celebrities are doing it and they're cool. They're the coolest. So we should believe them. We got to follow that. But what they don't understand is that socialism is a disease. It's like an addiction. It's like snoring cocaine, right? You snore, you love it, blah, blah, blah. It's not a big problem. Before you know it, you're either dead or you're about to die. You're jumping off a building or whatever, and your family with you is going down. That's socialism. It's like heroin. It's like the worst thing possible because it gets you from, hold on a second. Sorry about that.
Okay.
It gets you, it gets you from left field, and it traps you like a lobster trap, and you can't get out because you've been accumulating so much information from the government that is offering you everything to you, is offering you a life, is offering free stuff, healthcare, all these great things. We're going to love the world. We're going to accept everybody in here. We're going to help the homeless, which in fact they're doubling or tripling the size of homelessness in all these liberal cities. So everything that they're telling you they're going to do, they have not done ever.
Mm,
So, and I'm not even looking at it as a Republican. Let's say I'm just in the middle. I don't care about parties. I don't care about colors. I don't even care about the president. Let's say that. I'm just an outsider. And I look at the policies and I go, Okay, these people over here on the right, which the president is talking about, love God, love and appreciate the police. They want to protect the country, and they want to lower my taxes as a father, as a husband, as a brother, you know, in Christ, whatever, as an American, right? So I look at that and I go, okay, that's good. I love that. I stand for, and it supports the military, so I support that. And the other side supports socialism. They support higher taxes. They're supporting killing our military, and they support opening and boarding and so much more. And also, which one of the things that really hits the heart is, you know, you have this thing about not promoting God, keeping God away. You have abortions, pro-abortions, pro this, pro that, and I don't agree with that. So I think that a woman should be able to do what she wants to do with her body, but the government should not support that. It should be a private organization, which it is, but the Democrats deliver millions and millions of dollars to Planned Parenthood to do over 1,000 abortions every day, in which these abortions could go on for 9 months of the pregnancy, which means a mother can go in New York City right now. She's almost ready to give birth, and she says, you know what? I don't want this child anymore.
Scary.
That is a reality we live in. So we went to a certain, you know, they crossed the line. They crossed the line, and they keep crossing the line. And I think the American people are like, we're done with this. We don't believe in this. We love our flag. We love our heritage. Whether it's good or bad, we learn from our bad so we don't do it again. But getting rid of our history, getting rid of our morals, getting rid of God, getting rid of family values. We do whatever we want. We don't have no commandments. We have no guidance. We have nothing. We have nothing. So this country is based on a lot of good principles, probably the best principles in the history of our planet. And considering 200 or so years, we've done so much. So I take pride in that. And they take pride in spilling hate and racism. Now we're racist, we're this, calling names and this and that. No, we're very educated people. We use common sense, and we love our country, and we respect our place very much. And I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
You received a lot of backlash for coming out as a conservative in Hollywood, but now I think we're seeing a lot of backlash across the nation for people that have been silent for so long. You call them the silent majority. What advice do you have for them? Because they're not really silent anymore.
I don't think anybody has any much of a choice at this point, because, you know, they're burning cities, they're burning neighborhoods, they're coming to your doorstep, and they're not asking, they're just demanding. So at that point, and they want your guns to be taken away, and you want your freedom to be taken away. So then it becomes a security issue. Like, why am I going to vote for Biden when he promotes this? Let's say I'm a Democrat right now, and I go, I voted for this kind of values, and then they're supporting this lifestyle. They're supporting this. They're supporting that. And look where I live. Look around. I mean, go to California right now and go to downtown LA, and you see the filth and human beings. It looks like a third world country, but no, it's Los Angeles. And 20 minutes down the road is Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And on the right of that is North Hollywood. And you have celebrities living in these huge mansions, voting for Biden, voting in the policies like Gavin Newsom and all these people who are promoting more homelessness, more programs, more free homes for people that are getting out of jail, more people for people that are living on the streets, but they're not helping people, because what they're doing is supporting more people to be on the street. We're not supporting values and going, you know what, we're going to help people get off the street so they don't go back to the streets. The point is, if we're going to help and spend $100 billion on homelessness in California alone every year, it's a huge number like that. I could every year it changes, 100 billion, 80 billion, whatever. I'm like, well, don't you think that money could be put into a place, a method, or again, in 2020, I mean, I think we're pretty smart at this point, and all the technology that we can help people not get back on the street, but they're offering programs to allow human beings, and I'm not talking about the ones that need a lot of mental rehabilitation, that are actually sick, that actually we need to get them off the street for their own good and other people's wellness, is the fact that we have to help people understand that we can help people get off the street by actually putting this money, knowledge from people on the street, and actually work with them and go, we don't want this revolving door.
Hmm.
Every year, there's thousands more coming to Los Angeles. There's more on the street all over Seattle, all over all the liberal cities, Chicago. New York is ridiculous. How many, especially now, they've shut down the whole city. So we have to do something about it. I mean, this country's great. We shouldn't be in that position. And we shouldn't allow the mayors and the governors and the senators of these liberal states to run these cities into the ground. It's not fair. It's not right.
So what's interesting about that is, you know, as you're saying this, I'm thinking about these folks that are living in Beverly Hills and are living in these beautiful areas. Do
Right.
they actually like seeing that? I mean, why would they be advocates of this when they?
Complete insanity. They hate the president so much that they're willing to live around crap. I mean, excuse my French, around garbage,
Yeah.
than actually do something about it because they don't want to admit the fact that they're wrong in voting for these policies. They're wrong. They expect everyone else to follow those policies, but at the end of the day, you don't want it for yourself. It's called hypocrisy because you cannot love that. You cannot love the fact that Los Angeles, and they talk about it. Well, you know, we have huge companies up north, and you know, in San Francisco, we have Google, we have all this other stuff. You know, they're creating a lot of jobs. Really? No, they're not creating anything for the people that live in those communities. They're not, because those policies are allowing people to live on the streets, to do drugs on the street, to do whatever they want. Police have no right to do it, to arrest, to help, to do anything anymore. You know, in my county in California, the one I ran into, I had many, many incidents of people going through hell and back because police are not allowed to do their job. And that's just how it goes in these states. They control everything. They control the legislature. They control the laws. And then you look at the law on paper and I'm like, this does not make any sense. This is very dangerous for my family. This is very dangerous for my kids. So at the end of the day, you know, back maybe 20 some years ago, or maybe more, you know, I looked at myself at being a Democrat maybe because I fell for that many, many years ago. I fell for that. But then when you wake up and you see this is not good for me. This is not good for my kids. It's not good for anybody. And you step away from that. And there's a lot of stuff going on. This election is the biggest election of our time. And America's fed up. And Trump is going to win because, and he's going to win by a lot, because it's not about Trump anymore. It's not about him. It's not about, we want this billionaire who's charismatic. He says the right, you know, he speaks from the heart, whatever. It's not more about that. Right now, it's about, you know what? There's people that did not like Trump, did not vote for him, but they have no choice but to vote for him right now because they want to be left alone. And they want to feel like they're protected. You want to sleep good at night, okay? You don't want to watch over your shoulder and then not be able to pay your bills, your water bills. You know, if Biden gets in office, you guys, we're talking about water bills, electrical bills. We're talking about taxes. We're talking about not having your police coming to do anything to help. I mean, we're talking about Venezuela. And I'm not just putting fear into people. I'm just saying, if you look at it, look at his policies. I welcome everyone to read it. He has it on his website. You can put two and two together and see it for yourself. It's very, very dangerous. He will never win in 100 million years.
Antonio, I wanted to ask you this too. You know, there's people out there that they hear the word socialism. It's been tossed around quite a bit lately. But, you know, can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, of course I can. There's a difference between, yeah, I can tell you exactly what it is. Socialism, there's two different things that people have to understand. There's socializing programs, you know, like you want to help people off the street, you socialize some places where they go and they take showers, they can eat there. It's the government takes care that you can help them. Like I said, going back to the original point that I made before, you get them off the street so they don't go back to the street, okay? This program is not the revolving door. It's you get in, you get out, you're good. Or you go into a place where you're not going to come back here again, okay, one. But two, socialism is where they promise you the world, okay? You're going to have free healthcare. There's nothing free in this world. Death and taxes are the only guarantee you have in this life. And if you have a spiritual connection with Jesus Christ, in my opinion, that would be the ultimate. But besides that, death and taxes are going to come every single, it's how it is. And another thing socialism promises you is a different type of life, right? We're going to protect you. You're going to pay us, and we're going to give you everything you need. We're going to give you everything you ever needed. What happens is the country as a whole becomes poorer. It's like you're digging a hole, and they're getting deeper and deeper because they're not paying anything. They're accumulating this wealth from the people that are working extremely hard, but they can't work anymore because their taxes is 60 and over %. They can't cope with hiring people. They can't make any money because everything they make, it's already spent. And it becomes a third world country, like they have done in every country socialism had touched, has destroyed. Cuba, Venezuela, and so forth. China right now, I mean, look at the poverty in that country. And look at the malfunction. I mean, it's slavery. It's slavery. We're seeing slavery. And these companies in California, they're hiring people. It's a revolving door. It doesn't make any sense. And now we have a president who doesn't believe in that. He believes in a different thing. He believes in capitalism, that you and I and everybody here, if you work hard with dedication, you can accumulate as much wealth as you can on your own with hard work.
So who benefits from this?
Yeah. Who benefits from socialism?
Yeah.
The government. But the government also runs out of money too, because they're keeping it and spending it for themselves, but the government is not sustaining, and then the government cannot pay it anymore. I mean, the people cannot pay it to the government anymore. So what happens? Civil war.
Okay.
Then the government takes the next step, which is the worst one. Shuts off everything off. Can't pay for water, you're not going to have water. You can't pay for electricity, you're not going to have electricity. We can't make electricity anyway because there's no jobs, right? It becomes worse. It just dies. It's like if you've seen a shark, I always compare us as sharks. We keep moving, we circulating, we keep swimming, we're good, we eat, we keep moving. You keep that shark on the bottom of the ocean, he dies slowly. That's socialism right there. Yeah. So people have to understand the difference between that. Social security and socialism are two different things. And I suggest, listen, if you want to see it for yourself, take a trip to Venezuela right now. Take a trip to Venezuela, spend a week there if you can, and see it for yourself what is going on. That's what the Democrats are pushing for. Yeah. And when they tell you they're not, they are. Look at the plan. Look at it's all written. Anybody can see it and read it for yourself.
And some of these individuals, let's use Silicon Valley as an example, extreme wealth, and are sort of supporting this agenda, if you will. What's in it for them? Because you said the government benefits. How do they benefit?
Well, just keep controlling other people. The benefit is your people are your money bank. The people is your bank. The people pay for everything, right? So as long as the people, as the ants scattered around, keep moving in this direction, they keep getting wealthier. You cannot explain to me how Pelosi gets $60 million every year. Where's it coming from? Joe Biden has become a multi-millionaire since he left office. And it's not from writing books. He must have written a lot of books, man.
I know. It's hard to make money in books.
A lot of money. These people become wealthier in politics. Yeah. Donald Trump lost $2 billion, probably more, with a B. He didn't have to gain any more power. He's a multi-billionaire. So it's crazy to me that people actually believe that Donald Trump's only purpose is to control the planet, to become the most powerful man on the planet. So he has to deal with this, and his family has to deal with his grandkids has to deal with this abuse on a daily basis because he wants to be the most powerful man on the planet. Okay. Well, for 8 years of his life, as he is in his 70s, and he has not stopped working. Really? You trying to tell me that's it? He already made his billions. He's already been the most popular. He was already there. He lost every.
I feel like Antonio is so passionate about this because Antonio, you lived in Italy. You grew up in a more socialist country.
But they disguise themselves.
America, yeah.
They disguise themselves as liberals. And if you look back in history, Hitler was a liberal. He started with that mentality the same way. I'm going to help you. We're going to take your guns away. We're going to take your books away because we don't need to read about this stuff. So we're going to take it away. Like what's going on right now. Look what's going on we want to take we want to take the history away. We don't want to talk about the bad history of this country. We don't talk about that. We're talking about the perfect, good history. Everything else we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about God. We're going to take your guns away. It sounds familiar, right? It sounds familiar. And so, but the great thing about this place is that anytime you're against the wall, we've seen it we've seen it in World War One, we've seen it in World War II, we saw it in the Korean War, we saw it in all our endeavors and all the crazy stuff that this country's been through, is that this country is resilient. It doesn't give up. Like, it's like the Olympics, right? We show up and we want to win gold every time. And so we're fighting a battle, but it's worth fighting for. And I feel optimistic about it. I feel that the best days are yet to come.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I wanted to ask you too, about this, because I feel like, you're somebody that is living the American dream, and that you came from another country. And then, like you said, you came here and you embraced America, and it embraced you. What was it like for you to come here from somewhere else and get started and build a professional career as well here?
It's kind of like being adopted. You come from a whole different world and set of rules, and you're adopted from this great family that just adores you. And this country adores me, and I adore it back. There's so many things that I love about this place, and I already knew that before I even stepped in this country. I already had that in me, because I fell in love with it, and I was adopted by it. And like I said, so you appreciate it, you respect it, and so when somebody picks on it, when they burn the flag, that really touches a part of me. I'm not happy about that. I stand up for my adopted, country. And this country is my own now. I love it. It's like probably love it more than somebody that was born here, because maybe doesn't appreciate or respects or sees it in those values, because this place it's precious. It really is. I take pride in being American. I take pride that my kids were born here. I love this place. It's done so much for my family and I, and so much for the world. So much for the world. I travel over the world and I see what this country has done. And sure, you can look. I mean, everybody always tends to see the bad, but I look at the good. Like, our soldiers, our military are still there, like protecting these places around the world. We don't have to do that. We do it for the fact that we take pride in being that light on top of that hill. That's what we are. That's what this country was formed, is about. When they were giving us rules to live by, we said, we want to be, those 13 states and the Civil War and everything. We stand up. We don't back down.
Yeah. I hear some people say today, I was reading something this morning and said, the country doesn't do anything for me. That's something I read. I was looking at what somebody was writing, and that was one thing that I read. And then again, I'm thinking of you, as I'm preparing for today, and I'm reading all that you've done. You came here from somewhere else, and again, you've hit it on so many different levels, right? Acting, modeling, producing business.
Whatever it may be, that's right. Whatever you desire to do, if you respect this country, you play by the rules, and you work hard with dedication, good family values, and just that will, and you can really, look what we've seen it. We've seen people achieve amazing things because they had the opportunity that this country, gives to everyone, and it's great. It's a great place.
Yeah. So do you see yourself having more of a future in politics, or?
No politics for me. I'm so dedicated in opening my Conflict Studios, which is conservative studios. I am in pre-production on Trailblazers, which is an epic Western with amazing characters. All friends of mine are going to be in it. It's an action trilogy with sets in a Western town with God versus evil. I'm just excited about this project and all the other ones that I'm set to do right after that. And God is good, man. And I've been through hell and back. I'm still standing, and I'm still passionate. And like I said, and like you were mentioning about this country, I'm a person that lost a lot, gained a lot, lost a lot, and now is working his way back into getting it back, and even some more, because now that's a whole different ball game, and this country has done it. I thank God every day, and I thank God that He put me here for a reason,
Yeah. Well, you've done it too. It's a partnership, right?
It's definitely a partnership, and it's a conversation, that ultimate private conversation that you have with the man upstairs. And I'm just so blessed, that I was able to come here, and I was able to still stand on my own 2 feet, which is, and that's what this production company is about. That's what the studio is about. Is about helping a lot of folks that are not working as much, and I think they deserve to work, and I want to help them all.
Yeah. And would you say that that's common for people that hold your beliefs in the Hollywood system? Typically a little bit blackballed and.
No, a lot blackballed. It's just you don't have a voice. If you disagree with the mainstream or you have a different opinion, I mean, there are people fleeing California. They're leaving that place, and I was living there for almost 35 years. I had to leave. I was pushed out, and I love California. I just I hate what they're doing to it. But I love that place. It's a special land. It's a special place, but with special people. But a lot of folks are being pushed out.
Yeah. So in your new studio, where is it going to be based out of?
We'll have different locations. Right now, we're just is the brand is what we're trying is we're building the pillars around the studio with the project and trailblazers and everything. But we have different ideas: West Coast, East Coast, and beautiful states.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. It's pretty innovative, and it's also you saying, "Hey, this is what I stand for," and you're building a business that stands for that as well.
Yeah, we want to support our country. We want to make movies about, God. We want to make movies about our police officers. We want to make movies about our military. I have great stories that I want to make about the history of this country and so much more. So we take pride in that. We want to give American families an alternative.
Yeah.
Alternative to watch films and TV shows that are very, very patriotic. And, we put the flag first. We put God first,
Yeah, that's super cool. And when could we, plan to see some of the films coming out of your studio?
I am praying. I've been working on this since the beginning of the summer. We worked really hard. We're almost there with the right investors, with the right people. In my opinion, hopefully I'll be able to announce something relatively soon in the next 30 days.
Cool.
And we'll be in production next year. We'll be in production hopefully before the next spring.
Okay.
With the film, but the studio is going to be open relatively soon, I hope.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Cool. Antonio, thanks, man. We'll
Wait,
push.
you gotta ask him the
Oh yeah, you're right. I do. I have to ask one question. Okay, so I got to ask you this last one. So I call this the Becoming a Champion show. So I got to ask you, what does the word champion mean to you?
Oh wow, driven, never giving up, the will to never surrender. It's just every day in and day out, dedication to something that's bigger than yourself, and whatever that may be, whatever that is, whatever that is, to tell anyone, young or old, to go after those dreams. But the fact is, when it's not easy, it's where the drive comes in. That's where that champion comes in, because he's willing to put in the work and to fight that battle and to succeed no matter what.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's cool, man. Well, it sounds like we're talking to a champion today. So
thank you guys.
Some butt, man. And thanks for hanging with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and God bless you guys, and have a great day.
God bless
You too. All right, Antonio.